Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome. And for those who are new, I hope you can benefit from this channel. So I titled this Bloom Where You Are Planted, and that's a concept that I've been aware of for a really long time. And I think someone argued it wasn't in the Bible anywhere, but it's certainly biblical. And I think that's because it goes with Jesus and the whole idea that we love our neighbors as ourselves. And, you know, if we truly did care, starting with our family, and how many people do you know that are broken in their families? My gosh, even in my family. 2 of the children out of the 11 have boycotted the family. They decided that they weren't called to be in a large family. And God bless them, you know. I mean, some days it hurts, but most days I just pray for them that they can find their way. Because, my goodness, can you really keep your children from cousins and stay away from siblings and avoid parents and call yourself Christian, especially under the premise of honor thy mother and father? But you know what? God is merciful, and I am not going to judge them on that. Because I just rejoice that I'm not limited in that way. And what I know is that God has allowed us to create our own families. We definitely have our belly button families. And if we have the grace, hopefully, we can be content within that. But we can also build our family under the premise that all people stemmed from Adam and Eve. So in essence, we're all connected anyway. And if you can't love and be appropriate with one person in your family, maybe it's your mother, you can certainly love and be appropriate to someone else's mother and hope that God will do the same for yours. And that's kind of what I've seen over time, that, you know, we do create our human family and we can serve in roles for people that we're safe with, even if those weren't the original people that, you know, by God's design, we thought, you know, would be family. And sometimes they're not. So I've got no judgment on that. But under the idea of blooming where we're planted, you know, it's safer to fret about people on the other side of the world instead of helping your neighbor. Have you even met your neighbors? To be fair, I haven't. My neighbor just moved out, but I never knew them in the 2 years they were there. And now we just got new neighbors to my left. And I was thinking at the very least, I should know them in case there's an emergency or something. I can at least say hi. I live next door, you know, if you're in a situation or whatever. But no, I haven't done that either. So, you know, we have situations right now. People feel that they don't have purpose in their life. There's a lot of people with no purpose in their life. It's very mundane. They wake up every day. They eat the same dead food. They go to work. They pretend. They come home exhausted. They binge on the couch or fall asleep or argue. You know, it's determined that parents spend an average of 6.5 minutes a day literally engaged with their children. 6.5 minutes. So, how can we find purpose? Well, purpose is generally in helping others. It really is. That human contact. Even if it's a difficult contact, it's still a connection. There's just this energy connection from soul to soul that is super important. And so I was just thinking, you know, they just had that terrible, I believe it was a tornado, forgive me, I think it was a tornado, but in Mozambique, I think, where, you know, 230 people are dead, up to 1,000 maybe dead, 1.5 million were affected. And kind of like all at that same time, there was the shooting in New Zealand, right, in Christchurch, where 50 people were killed. And what people are so busy looking at all that, and certainly the president, that they missed the horrific flooding and terrible challenges going on in Nebraska, unless you're by there, and God bless you. But there's all these things going on, and yes, you could certainly, you know, donate $5 or $10 online, and if everybody did that, it would be tremendous. But for the things that we cannot control, If God really did call us to bloom exactly where we're planted, we don't have to be a missionary in a different country. We need to be a missionary right here. You know, at my church, the priest, one is from South America. I can barely understand him. And the other one is from, I want to say Nairobi, but it's not Nairobi. Anyway, somewhere in Africa. And even though it's English that he speaks, the patterns are broken. And he kind of has a Kermit the Frog voice, and it is like a huge challenge. I remind myself all through Mass. One, I make sure that I do the readings before I get there. And two, I remind myself all through Mass that I'm there for the body and blood of Christ and the gift of the Eucharist, and the rest is a bonus. And I have to say that I also ask God, please, Father, open my ears. Please open my ears so that I can hear this and understand it. But the interesting thing about that is they're here as missionaries to America. What? Yes, they have come to save the Americans. Oh boy, that's a turnaround. That is a turnaround. America used to go all over the world to share the good news, and now people are desperately coming here to save us. I just figure, you know what, it's all the same church and all the same message. People need to be loved. People need to know that there's hope. And even if it's in a difficult language, and I'm sure I'm getting better at it, it's just kind of funny. Anyway, for some reason I'm not sick. I'm telling myself I'm not sick, even though right now, oh my goodness, we usually average like 98.7% attendance at school. And at this last assembly, they announced that it was down to 92% because of how many students are sick. And part of the reason so many are sick is because of the chronic change in weather. My gosh, I mean, like I said, it was 90 degrees in the afternoon last week, and the next morning it was 32, and there was fresh snow on the mountains and ice. They had actually put salt down on the playground. So this extreme change in weather, for me with my allergies, the blooming and unblooming of things so quickly, and even the flowers are looking around going, wait, am I supposed to be out here yet? I'm like, no, sorry, you bloomed a little too soon, my friend. So it's just a wreck, and I accept that that's part of my asthma and things that I'm having right now. But mostly I feel really blessed, I do, because I am choosing to eat right, I'm getting in all my water, and you know what, I just have to say, my intention on here, of course, is to get to my goal weight. And God is really going to have to work overtime to make that happen. And that's okay. Because I'm choosing to eat fruit. And I love it. And it makes me happy. And it makes me feel satiated. And I am staying in my calorie range, but probably on the higher side. But when I am literally just eating my salads and fruit, and I am so content and less compulsive, I'll take a little longer to lose the weight. You know, because most people are like, oh, well, lean is green. Wait, greens are lean. Sorry, greens are lean. I'm getting in my greens, but I'm also getting in my fruit. And I'm going to feel okay about that because a minute ago it was packaged junk food and not even vegan. And dead meat on a bun. So if I'm choosing an extra orange or 2 extra bananas, you know what? I'm not going to fret over that. I'm not. All right, so thanks for being here, my friends. Can you bloom where you're planted? Can you find something right around you, starting with your own family and children, to show grace, to reach out in some unexpected way? I'm going to keep going with that. I've been donating to food at church, and I know that I'm a generous, kind person to anyone I meet and always give whatever I can. And so I'm just going to keep staying with that and try and have my heart and my ears open for the message and just continue to contribute and not be too upset over what I can't affect in other communities, in other parts of the world. Because, you know, things are best spread exponentially what can we do in our immediate area, and from there, it will grow, right? All right, my friends, as usual, thanks for letting me share. You're a blessing for showing up. And like if you like, join us if you haven't. And best of all, be blessed.